Hey gang, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of Intuitive Angling, and thanks for checking out the video today. Much appreciated. We are heading back from Colorado from Owens weightlifting deal, so I got one more day of doing videos out of the truck, and I'm going to get back into the shop and outside and hopefully on the water again, start some videos up. But anyway, guys, today I want to talk about how many days a month do you have to fish to become a really good angler, because I don't think there's ever been a video done on this. I got some really good opinions on it. Might help you guys out. So we're going to have that discussion and hopefully get some comments from you guys too. So real quick, guys, just a couple of our quick housekeeping tips here. Just want to invite everybody to please swing by fishthemoment.com and check out our summer lake map breakdowns. You've heard me talking about it the last month or so. If you're struggling to catch fish on your favorite lake, this is a great resource. It gives you good GPS waypoints, tips and advice on how to fish each area. And also, if we don't have one of the lakes that you fish on our summer breakdown list, you can book a virtual lesson with me and we can go over any lake in the country one-on-one. And also, please check out, we're getting close to the end of the month. Our sale on our RB2 solar bat sunglasses runs out at the end of June, 30% off if you order a pair by the end of June. So I'll put the link in the description there. Much appreciated, guys. Okay, guys, how many days a month do you have to fish to actually become a really good or great bass angler? It's a really good question to ask. And here's the thing about bass fishing, as far as being able to truly excel in the sport, you have got to be a student of the fish, and you've got to be a student of the sport. You can't just go at it sort of half-cocked and expect to get really good. Now, everybody has different expectations and goals that they want to achieve in the sport. But if you want to become one of those really, top 5% bass anglers, guys, you have got to fish at least 2 to 3 days a week. So in essence, you're going to have to fish, probably anywhere between 10 to 15 days a month, in my opinion, to get really good at bass fishing. Because here's what happens, and then I'll discuss a little bit more about some other aspects of it. But here's the thing about it. The only way that you can really accelerate your learning process is you have to take the information that you've assimilated from things like YouTube videos and excuse me, guys, talking to other anglers, just getting information in other ways besides being on the water. And then you have to be able to get to the water to really put that information into real time. Because say, for example, if I give you guys some tips and advice on how to fish a square bill crankbait on shallow laydowns, yeah, I can give you guys a really good foundation to begin with, but it's not until you get out there and you see for yourself in real time about what I'm talking about that you can really get a full understanding and get a full grasp of how that technique works, and then be able to adjust to different conditions. Because say, for example, like when I talk about lure color and how it needs to look a certain way in the water, you might be able to rationalize that in your mind, but until you see it firsthand, you'll never really understand what I'm talking about. And on top of that, there's so many other variables out there, because you've got so many other weather condition variables that happen during the day, that the only way that you know how to adjust to those conditions to sort of see, what you need to be doing or not doing, is to actually be on the water. And you have to feel that wind on your face, and you have to feel that sunlight intensity coming at you at different angles. And you have to understand about how your boat drifts into cover based upon the current and the wind. This is all stuff that you have to be on the water in order to accomplish. And the problem with this is that throughout our lives, guys, most people don't have the time or the luxury to spend this much time on the water. Because yeah, if you're say for example, if you're in your 20s and you don't have a family, you might be able to spend that much time on the water if you can afford to do it. If you've got a job that allows you to spend that time on the water, or if you're in the position where you can pay your bills and still be on the water. And then as you get older, and a lot of people get families going and they have responsibilities, they don't have that time to spend on the water. And then as you get older, you may have other interests. So the point of the fact being is that most people, there's a really small window within their lives that they're allowed to spend that much time on the water. That's why it is so difficult to get to that upper echelon in fishing, is because most people just can't spend that much time in the water. That's the reality of it. Simply put, guys, you are not going to become a great bass angler unless you spend lots and lots of time in the water. And it's not as easy as that, because getting back to what I just said here, it's expensive to spend time on the water. It's like if you've got a fully rigged bass boat and you've got to drive to the lake between 30 minutes to an hour and a half, like most people do, to get to a lake, it costs quite a bit of money to do that and to upkeep. So from that standpoint, it's really a luxury, for people to spend that much time in the water. Now, ideally, if you're serious about it and you want to become the best tournament angler in the world, and I've said this before, you've got to be single. You don't have to you can't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. You can't have a bunch of responsibilities at home. You can't have a bunch of bills. You need to live on the lake to where you can just go anytime that you want. You've got to really put more time in it than anyone out there. And if you look at any other sport in the world, most of the people that, when they're at the top of their game, they're obsessed with it, and they're obsessed with it to the point that everything else in your life suffers. So here's another thing. If you want to become a really good angler, and I don't care if your goals are just to fish weekend tournaments or just fish locally or nationally or whatever, if you make the commitment to do that and you do it right, everything else in your life is going to suffer. Your personal and family relationships are going to suffer. Everything that needs your own personal attention is going to suffer, because you put every ounce of energy into tournament fishing. Now, I had a period in my life when I did that, and it's very selfish. That's one of the things about tournament bass fishing. It's a very selfish sport, because it's something you have to do by yourself. And if you do that by yourself and you're spending that much time by yourself, everybody else around you, has to take up the slack on that. So from that standpoint, tournament fishing is a selfish sport, and I've earned the right to say that because I've done it for 35 years. I know what I'm talking about with it. But anyway, guys, get back to the point of the video, is if you really want to become a good angler, and like I said, everybody else has different levels and goals, what they want to achieve with that. You may not even want to fish tournaments. You may just want to get better. There's nothing that can substitute time on the water. There's really not, because you have to have this combination of time on the water, yet you have to maintain this ability to be flexible, to be creative, to be have a strong imagination, to try new things, to not get locked into certain techniques. And then you have another aspect about it, is in order to win tournaments, you can't be too versatile. You have to be a specialist in certain areas. So it's just another of an ending example about that bass fishing, especially tournament fishing, is the most difficult sport on the earth. There's not another sport out there that is more demanding, more challenging, has more uncontrolled and controlled variables out there. It's a very difficult thing to get good at. Make no mistake about it, guys. The good days on the water where things go right and you catch a lot of fish is an exception to the rule. Most days when you go fishing, even for tournament, professional, excellent, top-level tournament anglers, it's sort of a struggle. It's sort of difficult to catch them. You sort of have to work hard to get what you got, and that's just sort of the nature of fishing, and it continues to be like that as more people are on the water, and technology advances to a point where the ability for the fisheries to sustain themselves, to make fishing good and easy, gets more difficult every year. So ultimately, guys, just if you want to get good, just try to be on the water as much as you can. I mean, be an information sponge. Like I said, you can't get too locked into doing nothing but watching YouTube videos and fishing once every 3 months. Got to get out there in the water if you're going to be good. So again, back to my initial thing, I think if you really want to reach that next level in your fishing, you've got to be on the water 10 to 15 days a month. It's been from my experience. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Shoot me some comments. We'll talk later.